I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be doing a review on narcissism.
So before we begin, I just wanted to remind you all that we are all available for coaching. So if you just go on the website and click on our names at the top, you can schedule a coaching with us.
That's right, Coach Victoria is now on board, and it's so easy to get in with us and schedule a time because we know it could be so confusing to go through a breakup, especially if you found yourself a narcissist.
Oh God, especially if you're with a narcissist.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
terrible.
Margaret has been doing tons of research on narcissism lately,
Yeah.
and so she's got a little review here
I'm
today.
going to do a little review, and then I have an additional piece of the narcissism thing that I'm going to do. But I just want to summarize where we've been with that. And of course, the term narcissist is being heard everywhere now. Every man we're angry at is a narcissist, and half the women. Okay? And although we have made good progress in identifying narcissistic traits over the past few years, it's now a bit out of control. And I was reading that women will go in to the district court to file a restraining order and not think they need any evidence or any additional information other than just to say, well, he's a narcissist, you give me a restraining order. And it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Okay? Not that there aren't narcissistic women as well, there are. Okay? Usually you hear about narcissistic women through the impact they've had on their children. Okay? So we talked about Dr. Ramani, who has written enormous amounts on narcissism and seems to be the foremost expert at this point. And the point that she wants to keep making over and over again is that if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, the chance that they're going to change within the relationship is about 1%. Okay? And that sounds harsh, and that may even sound unfair, but it's true. Okay? A narcissist who feels like his basic needs or her basic needs are being met is not going to do anything they don't want to do.
No matter what they tell you.
No matter what they tell you, right? And that's an important line. Yeah. And narcissists are big on promises. I'll do this, I'll do that. Okay. So Dr. Ramani wants to be sure that people don't stay hoping that something's going to change. Okay? And we talked about two experts, Dr. Ramani, who's a psychologist, and Dr. Masterson, who's a psychiatrist. Both of them, in their own way and in their own jargon for their profession, point out that the narcissist is badly, badly damaged early on, shortly after birth.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a massive fail of attachment. Okay? And it can happen for 1,000 different reasons, but the reasons don't matter to the baby. Either they get picked up and fed and talked to, or they don't. Okay? So no matter how good your intentions were, no matter how hard you tried to have this person cared for by others, it's always tricky.
So, Margaret, is it possible for somebody to become a narcissist later in life?
No, I don't think so. Now that's simply my opinion. But no, I don't think so, because I think it has its roots in very, very early life.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I hear that question.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I'll hear somebody say, well, I think they had a good childhood and they were hurt in their last relationship, so they became a narcissist.
I often hear that too. And it looks like that makes sense on the face of it, because the last trauma would have been much more current. Yes, and I had somebody really want to argue with me about that recently, and yes, indeed, it is more current, and yes, indeed, it has a major impact, but nothing has the impact that your early attachments do.
And remember that narcissists are prone to lying. So they could lie and be the victim of the story when in reality they might have been the perpetrator in their last relationship.
Absolutely.
It could be
Yeah.
a form of projection.
Sure. Projection being that we take our faults and project them on someone else.
We see
Okay.
that often.
Yes,
Right.
we do. So anyway, we looked at it from the psychological perspective and from the psychiatric perspective, and Dr. Masterson brilliantly describes how the early failure happens. And both of these writers talk about narcissists being like a balloon that they have to keep inflated at all times in order to function. Okay?
Interesting.
And if they have a period where they can't get the supplies they need to give them the balloon, they get extremely depressed extremely quickly. And one of the reasons for narcissism is to avoid depression. So when you get a narcissist depressed, in one weird way you've helped them because you've given them some kind of motivation to change. But it's not easy to do. All right? So the narcissistic is based on a defensive false self. And Dr. Masterson feels like the narcissist has an underlying rage because their early needs were not met. And I absolutely agree with that. That's where their rage comes from. They were not taken care of sufficiently. Okay? And so there's always a rage you have to be careful about. And they have a fragmented sense of self because they only got taken care of part of the time. Okay? And that makes you think that you're only worth being taken care of part of the time. And you may not even see yourself as a whole person. So they have a rage and depression associated with the narcissism. And it's very difficult for them to work with that and for us to work with that. And just remember, the stages of attachment do not happen right for the narcissist. Okay? And both of these people are saying that. Pathological insecurity is another way to put it. And an inadequate, fragmented sense of self. Therapy with anger can't override the depression, for example. Now, narcissists get in trouble when the narcissism, so if you go out and you get yourself all pumped up like a balloon, you're not going to feel your pain, okay? But if they have to go without getting their narcissistic supplies for any length of time, they get extremely depressed. They try anger first. In other words, if say their wife throws them out, then they're not going to be sad, they're going to be angry. Okay? They can't handle sadness very well at all. All right? So that's why you see the desperate efforts for narcissists to keep themselves pumped up.
And the irony in it is that narcissists tend to come off as this grandiose, put together, ultra confident type of persona, but really underneath they're extremely fragile.
Yes.
I think one of the criteria too is that they don't handle criticism well.
Oh, not at all. Oh, excuse me, I'm narcissistically injured. What
Right.
criticism? Yes. No, they can't handle. And the minute they're criticized, they immediately go to the persecution thing. I'm being picked on for no reason at all. It's so unfair. I'm really the most wonderful person in the world. And now I'm being told that I'm not. How dare this other person say that?
Right.
Okay? But they really struggle on a daily basis to keep themselves inflated, which is an interesting metaphor. And remember the story of Rachel and John that I read you? It was out of one of Dr. Romani's books. And Rachel, who seemed to be a perfectly lovely woman, married John, the very narcissistic and very busy surgeon. And in the end, she left him because he wouldn't stop going to the strip clubs. And not because he had treated her terribly for years. Okay? So
It's interesting, yeah.
I think it just goes to show you how programmed women are to take care of the man in their life. And that's fine. We should take care of each other. I'm all for it. But not to your own detriment. Okay? So she was still taking care of him, but got rid of him over the strip clubs. Now here's a very interesting phrase I want to remember. And what happens is the woman finds out how you become a narcissist and then feels terribly bad for the person who ends up the narcissist. And that's fine, and we're all for that. But you cannot explain away their bad behavior because of what happened to them. We're sorry, we'll help them get to therapy to fix it, but I'm not going to excuse your behavior because of your story of what happened to you. All right? You're still responsible for your behavior, you're a grown-up, and that's the end of that.
Nor can you fix them.
No.
I could see narcissists attracting those with very low self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Because somewhere in their mind, they're thinking, if I am good enough, I am good enough to heal this person and to fix their ultimate brokenness, which is really a cognitive distortion. It's not true.
Yes, it really is. Yes, it really is. But it's very, very common among women. Now, not that this can't happen, in any combination of the sexes here, but women are absolutely programmed to take care of that guy. Stand by your man, they say.
Yep.
Okay? But not if he's mistreating you. All right? So that's my review.
All right. So hopefully this will give you a little insight. We have other videos on narcissism. You could search the channel and see if it fits what's going on. We know that narcissism is being tossed out there like candy at Halloween.
Like candy at Halloween,
right?
yeah.
But, there are genuine narcissists out there, okay?
And it's also extremely underdiagnosed. Because
Very often.
narcissists don't have anything wrong with them, of course. So
They don't go to therapy.
They don't go to therapy. They
Exactly.
don't ask for help, right?
Exactly.
Unless the sadness sets in, and then they sort of have no choice.
So hopefully this has been helpful to you. And of course, if you need our help personally, you could get it at my website, askgreg.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
Yes, and I'll be happy to talk with you if you think I can be helpful.
And of course, Coach Victoria is here too.
I'm excited to speak with you.
Just click on Victoria or Margaret on the top of the website to get with them. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.